Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Monster Venom Build-A-Figure wave, and in this case we're looking at Typhoid Mary. Here we have Mary in the front window box displayed with her accessories in the Build-A-Figure piece, her name down here. We got nothing on the top. This is the only one that doesn't have anything on the top there from this wave. We get some artwork, the same artwork on both sides. On the back we get a product shot as well as all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure. And at the top we have the read-up, one of Mary Walker's 3 distinct identities. Typhoid Mary is a brutal combatant with the disturbing ability to set things on fire with her mind. And on the bottom we have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Typhoid Mary. And here is Typhoid Mary out of the packaging with her flaming katana there. But yeah, really cool figure. I am glad to get this character just because I've been wanting to do some sort of maximum carnage setup every time, or rather ever since we got like Deathlock, and now we got Morbius in the mix. We got Cloak and Dagger, so we can really start to put together a pretty cool maximum carnage display here. In fact, if I don't see anything about doing a carrion figure, I might take a look and venture into doing some custom again. And try to get myself a carrion figure. But regardless, cool addition. I think it's well sculpted and everything, but we're going to look more at that sculpt work here in a second. First, we're going to get a better look at that sword. So taking a look real quick, it's another katana. You know, we keep seeing swords for our Marvel Legends figures, and each time there's really nothing crazy. Honestly, I didn't even look to see if this is the same as any of the Deadpool swords. I'm sure it's probably the same as either the Deadpool or the Gwenpool sword. It's not really important, to be honest. We do get that flame effect wrapping around it, which is a cool addition. We've seen something similar, and again, I don't have my Psylocke figure available to see if it's the same effect that was wrapped around that, but with the purple. But you can take it off, and it is a somewhat flexible material. But it is made out of something that gives it that nice fiery effect. It's translucent, so I think it does look pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead now and take a look up close at Typhoid Mary. And getting up close here, we can see a really well done head sculpt. I imagine this is probably a female sculpt that we've seen before. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do a whole lot of research on this figure to see if there was anything reused or not. But it is a cool looking head sculpt. I do wish that we got more of a crazier looking head sculpt. Maybe, you know, teeth gritting. You know, I don't know, you give me a sword for a character and then you give me just this dull expression, and the two things don't really seem to mix. You can see some more evidence of Hasbro's digital printing or digital painting if we look right there on the eye, if I can hold it steady enough. But you can see how you have sort of that dot pattern there for the makeup around the eye. But from a distance, you don't notice that or anything. So, but looking down at the rest of the figure, you can't really see it under there, but we get that choker, which is pretty cool. The jacket she's wearing has these shoulder pads built into the jacket. Imagine that would come off, but unfortunately you would have the sleeves here, which would not look right with the corset. Which, speaking of the corset, came out looking good. I mean, nothing really crazy there. Let's see, do we get a belly button? Yeah, it looks like we got a belly button there, unless that's just a mold spot, but I think that's a belly button. But yeah, came out good. Backside, the jacket kind of comes up a little bit, and we can see that we get the molded belt and the pants there. And then she does have the one side with just the fishnet, which is ripped. And it looks like I actually had a spot. Where was it? Yeah, right there, where the fishnet paint didn't quite go through. And as you look at some of the line work on the paint too, you can see it's not really the cleanest, sharpest edges on it. So yeah, you get an open hand there for the sword, and then you get a fisted hand for punching. And then down here we got the little cuffs at the boots, which those are loose, they're not molded in. They do kind of slide around, so you can pull those down. And then you got the shoes there. So yeah, overall came out looking pretty good. Like I said, I just kind of wish we would have gotten a different expression. But let's go ahead now and take a look at scale and articulation. So Mary is coming in right at that 6-inch mark, so looking good as far as scale goes. For articulation, the head is going to be limited because of the hair. You can get a little bit more this way just because this piece is pretty flexible to go over the shoulder, but yeah, it's gonna hit on the shoulder pads. She can look down a good ways, but again, because of that hair, cannot look up too well, and you get a little bit of rock on there, so not bad. One thing I'll point out, if you notice her arms, I cannot really get them to go to her side. I could get this one a little bit further down if it'll go there, but this one I can't get any further down, and that's kind of a bummer. But anyway, you got arms that can go up, but they are going to push back a little bit from those shoulder pads, so they might get pushed back down. And you do have full rotation, but again, you're going to hit those shoulder pads, so you're going to want to be careful there. And then obviously you do have a rotation there at the shoulder as well. Single jointed elbows with rotation at the elbows, and then you do have a hinge and rotation at the wrist. You do have the diaphragm joint right there in the midsection. You can go back, and boy, I feel like I'm gonna push into the plastic to go forward, so it doesn't feel like she's got much forward at all. Legs that can come apart, not very far. Can kick forward, yeah, pretty good. Kick backwards, non-existent. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then we do have, of course, hinge and ankle pivot. And here's everybody in the wave standing next to each other. So from the left, we have Poison, Typhoid Mary, Scream, the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure in the back, Spider-Ham in front of him, and then Venom and Carnage. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And overall, Typhoid Mary kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really expecting this figure, but as I mentioned before, to try to fill out the whole Maximum Carnage thing, really all we need now is a doppelganger figure, and I think that would be awesome to get some of the core villains from that series going. So if you're trying to fill out something like that where you're rounding out that Maximum Carnage setup, I think this is a must-have figure for sure. If you're a fan of the figure, great, pick it up, or a fan of the character rather. I don't really know much about her beyond that Maximum Carnage storyline, to be honest, so this probably would have been a pass for me had it not been for the significance during that event. But anyway, as I said, this is it for the review, guys. Hit that like button down below if you like this review. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Make sure to hit subscribe for more content just like this, and aside from that, thanks for stopping by, watching my video, and have a great day.